Hi there, I'm JC Long, and today we're going to be talking about report and command. And so I first want to start off by saying something I read a long time ago that really stuck with me when I was studying in undergrad was that all behavior is a form of communication. And that is also stated in our text. And it's just funny that that came about because it's so true. How we act, the nonverbal messages that we send to each other, all behavior, we're always behaving. We always have some kind of action going on. So we are communicating, even though sometimes, and a lot of times, there's miscommunication happening. So basically, what the report and command is a relationship between content, which is the report message, and is typically verbal, and command, which is the relationship, which is typically nonverbal. And those between the two, they run hand in hand, and sometimes you can have one without the other. And all of the way that it's interpreted between a dyad or a couple, two people in a relationship, is called meta communication. And so sometimes when a couple is having difficulty communicating, it's because of these nonverbal cues or perhaps verbal cues. And an example that I'd like to give is something that happens frequently in my house is whenever I'm cleaning up the kitchen after cooking supper, and my husband knows it, but he's not paying attention because he's on his iPad or his phone or whatever watching TV. And I go in the kitchen and I want him to come help. But instead of using a verbal command like, hey, babe, can you come help me? I'm too prideful and stubborn to do that. So instead, I start slamming dishes, making loud sighing noises, which is actually the command message in the relationship of me not asking, because if I have to ask you for help, then I might as well do it myself. And usually by the end of me slamming dishes and making these noises, he'll get up and come in there and say, well, what? I didn't know you were unloading the dishes or loading the dishes. Why didn't you ask me? And so that form of miscommunication between us creates a negative feedback loop that we never have unity, because I won't ask for help and I am assuming that he knows I need help, but I'm giving him more credit than he needs because really he has to be told. And so how a relationship is defined is based on the communication, the meta communication between the report and command. And so the feedback loop continuing to be negative instead of being, switching it around and having a positive feedback loop doesn't solve the problem. It just continues and goes because no one is initiating change. I want help, but I don't want to ask for it. He doesn't know that I need help, and he needs to be asked, but I feel like it's a burden to ask him. So those types of communication can be a real problem in a marriage and any kind of relationship, because what you're not saying, you are saying with nonverbal cues. The slamming of the dishes or the slamming of the dishwasher door is my way of telling him I'm frustrated instead of just saying, help me. I shouldn't have to cook and clean and do all this by myself, and you're getting a break. So basically, the meta communication, it's always how a relationship is defined in that two-person group, in that dyad, because, like I say, the nonverbal and the verbal cues, the report and the command, they sometimes are negative. Sometimes there's a miscommunication. And even though we're not saying it with our words, we are saying it with our actions and our behavior. So that is my analysis of report and command, and hope you enjoyed it.